Hey gang, Josh Johnson here. We're going to get this party started momentarily. I would ask if you could to give this whole thing a share. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, I would invite you cordially to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We talk weather quite a bit around here. And if you're on Facebook, give it a like, give it a share. That way we can get the word out to as many people as possible. So I'm Josh Johnson. Today's date's February 13th, 2026. We are going to discuss several things. Among them, though, the chances for some strong and severe thunderstorms across the state as we look towards the upcoming weekend. Now, we'll note on the Storm Prediction Center website here, we've got a day 3 marginal risk. I can actually get you a better look at that. This risk area, it's really most of the southern 2/3 of Alabama, roughly along and south of a line from Anniston to Birmingham to, say, Tuscaloosa. It includes all of our area in the southern half of the state. So before we get there, though, we've got to talk about how it all leads up, right? So we will begin on Saturday. Let me walk you through Saturday. This is 4, 5, 6 a.m. Saturday. Still nothing. Nice clean scan. Radar is crystal clear. Now, by late morning into the afternoon, there's an outside chance of a sprinkle or shower, but you see the same thing I see here. This is through 3 o'clock. For reference, Montgomery sits right here. There's Auburn. Demopolis will be there. There's Selma. So not a lot to this initially. Then after the sun goes down, we start to see some scattered showers and sprinkles make it west of I-65. That continues to spread east, but it's really not until sunrise. So this is 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Yeah, we've got a pretty nasty line of thunderstorms along the Mississippi border at sunrise. Out ahead of it, some scattered non-severe showers and maybe a rumble or two of thunder. So Saturday night, the rain chance is still fairly limited before about 3 in the morning. After 3 a.m., that rain chance comes up some, but even there, it's still, right, we're not looking at a massive rain setup for Saturday night. Most of the heavy rain waits until Sunday. So onward we go. Here is 7 a.m. Sunday. Scattered showers now cover most of central and south Alabama. The line of storms is bearing down on places like Demopolis and Linden and Grove Hill and Butler. Not Butler County, the town of Butler over in Choctaw County, then back into Washington and Mobile counties. There's 8 a.m. Now the line of storms is getting into Marion and Uniontown and Safford and Alberta. Now within this line, there's really not much in the way of rotation. What we would be watching for would be any comma head shapes, sort of like the one you see up here in Greene and Hale County. Then we would also watch for embedded pockets of strong wind. But remember, this is happening at 8 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures will be borderline at best for severe weather at that point in time. So this is not a screaming, huge, amazing, massive severe weather setup. This is more on the lines of if you get the wrong storm in the wrong place at the wrong time, something could go wrong. But that's what it would take. Let's fast forward a little longer. Here's 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Sunday. Heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and some wind. Now getting into Sprott and Plantersville and Maplesville, Jemison, Thorsby, Clanton, back down towards Camden, Monroeville, Beatrice, Vredenburg, close to Evergreen, Atmore, and Bruton, down in the Escambia counties. Again, this is valid at 9 o'clock Sunday morning. Understand, Saturday looks good. This is almost exclusively a Sunday sort of problem. Okay, there's 10 o'clock in the morning. Now the line of storms is affecting places like Lake Mitchell, Rockford, Prattville, Pine Level and Marbury, Slapout, Deatsville, Montgomery, Lounsboro, Leadahatchee, Davenport, Greenville, Georgiana. Okay, again, this is all valid at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Keeps moving east pretty quick. There's 11 a.m. We're now into Alex City and Eclectic and Wetumpka and Redland and Pike Road and Troy and Laverne and Brantley and Andalusia and Opp. By noon, it's mainly East Alabama. And look, the farther east this goes, the weaker it sort of becomes in the central counties. Where we would be watching for severe weather would be down here in the Wiregrass. It's a little warmer there. There's a little more available energy for storms down in that southernmost section of the state. But overall, the risk level on this is still on the very low side of the spectrum. So this is now 3 in the afternoon. The initial wave of storms gets into Georgia and far east Alabama. Then the upper level wave of energy begins to pivot through central Mississippi. There will be rain and some gusty wind along that. Again, I think this is not really a damaging weather scenario, though. This is more of a nuisance, noticeable severe weather setup, right? For you Sunday afternoon as that upper trough swings through. So Sunday morning, the initial wave of storms comes through. Then Sunday afternoon, there's some leftover rain and gusty wind along the upper level trough. The odds of a tornado in this are very, very low. The odds of widespread damaging wind here, very, very low. The odds of large hail here, very, very low. This is more of a, again, you get the wrong storm, wrong place, wrong time. Could you have a problem? Sure, but odds are pretty stacked against that idea, just sort of conceptually speaking. So that's where we are with that storm setup there. We'll keep going. Then another batch of rain moves through. This is Sunday afternoon to Sunday evening. Remember, by this point, there's really not enough juice left for severe weather. This would just be pockets of heavy rain and some breezy conditions, right? Not wind damage stuff, more like just sort of it's raining and it's windy, right? So nothing that really jumps off the screen at you there. So that's where this looks from a severe weather standpoint. Now, the other thing we should talk about before I let you guys go is the long range sort of pattern here. There is no sign of any significant shot of cold air in the next 10 days at least. I'll show you the raw. This is the operational European computer model. Again, it sort of shows you, this is one run. This is one run of one model, a deterministic run. This is, when I use that analogy of a choir and the solo singer, this is the solo singer. And it suggests 70s through the weekend, close to 70 anyway, and then upper 60s, low 70s Monday. And then after that, a long stretch of warm air, and then perhaps a cool down into next weekend, the 22nd of February. So how about that? We'll see. My camera's doing all kinds of wonky stuff here, so I'm going to try to stop it from doing that. I guess the face following feature thing really works well on this camera. Almost too well. I kind of wanted to just sit still for a minute. Like most children I'm in charge of, it never sits still. But the bottom line here, we are warm for at least the next 8, 9, 10 days off the operational Euro. Now, the ensemble, which again, that's the choir approach, right? You hear fewer details, but you're less prone to forgotten lyrics, missed notes, etc. This is in the same boat, very warm through next weekend, and then perhaps a turn back to slightly cooler air somewhere around the 22nd or 23rd of February, but it doesn't last very long and we warm back up. Now, if you're asking about genuine, real deal cold, my suspicion is that's really more, I think we may get, the worst of it's behind us. I do not think we will have another day where afternoon temperatures struggle to get to 32 degrees, right? I do think we will have additional frost freeze issues, though, into early March. Winter weather concerns, maybe, we'll see, right? March, if you've lived through 10 Marches here, you've seen and heard it all. Marches are by far our wildest weather month of the year, and we'll see how this one does in terms of that. So I'll hop into the comments here and we'll see if we have any questions on the YouTube and Facebook live streams. As always, thanks so much for watching and hanging out with us on this kind of random Friday afternoon update. Will it get bad in Troy? Probably not. I think you'll have some rain. I think you'll have some gusty wind. I think you'll hear some thunder on the horizon. Do I think it will be bad per se? No, probably not. Don't mind cold for 2 to 3 days, but after a week, I draw the line. Absolutely. And that line is the Alabama-Tennessee border. When I say I draw the line, that's what I mean when it comes to the cold. When we draw the line, we're going to draw that puppy right on the Alabama-Mississippi state line. Funny story about that, by the way. When I first moved here in 2008, 18 years ago, that's crazy. I went and gave a talk down in Troy at a kind of a civic club. I can't remember, Shriners or, Exchange Club, Kiwanis. There's a million of these things, right? And I give my talk, and at the end of it, a guy goes, "Hey, Mr. Johnson, you kind of talk like you're from up north," which is the absolute first time anyone's ever told me that in my entire existence, by the way. And then he says, "You're not a Yankee, are you?" And I said, "Well, I don't think so, but I guess that depends on where you draw the line, doesn't it, man? And that guy didn't miss a beat. He looked me dead in the eye and said, Clanton. I said, oh, well, in that case, I guess I am a Yankee. I'm from Jacksonville, Alabama. I've never been called a Yankee before in my life, but here we are. Something new every day, right? All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching this Facebook and YouTube live update. I'm about to be on TV here in a few minutes. It's 3:28 now as we finish this up. I'll be on WSFA 12 News today at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. I hope you'll join me for some or all of those updates. We'll be talking weekend rain chances, next week's warm-up. Upper 70s look like a lock next week, and I think there's a real chance a few 80s could even creep in the mix there as spring maybe off to a little bit of a premature start. We'll call this fake spring. This is fake spring, guys. We all know what happens once we get to early March. We'll get another one of those really poorly timed cold snaps. So, all right, everyone. Hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Take care. If you have any questions, write them here as a comment